Our roads can be much safer if all users are more disciplined, courteous, and follow the rules. Not one or a few times, but every time. Making our roads accident-free must start with you and me. Hi there. Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On the pages today, rules to make our roads safer. Also, obtaining a passport, one of our primary identification documents. Plus, telltale signs of human trafficking. All these and much more on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
There is no vaccine for the chikungunya virus. If you've been infected, take paracetamol such as Panadol, Cetamol, and Tylenol to reduce pain and fever. Sleep under mosquito netting and get plenty of rest. Take showers or sponge baths in room temperature water to lower fever, especially in children, and drink lots of fluids to prevent dehydration. If your symptoms worsen, go and see a doctor. Do not take aspirin as this could cause bleeding, and never use rubbing alcohol. To learn more, call 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683.
The country has a goal to reduce the yearly road crashes to below 240 by the year 2016. Jamaicans are being reminded of our civic duty to help create a safe and secure road environment, and that includes all of us practicing good road safety habits. To do that, we must at all times follow the rules of the road.
Road fatalities occur way too often, and more often than not, they happen because of a failure to obey the rules of the road.
Because of incorrect driving, road infringement, persons failing to apply the road code, approximately 57% of all road accidents and fatalities are caused by this incorrect driving.
Speeding, reckless overtaking, drinking and driving, and the failure to obey traffic lights and stop signs are some of the most common road infractions that lead to collisions. But the law is clear. From established speed limits to guidelines on how to overtake, the regulations are spelled out. The speed limit for road users depends on whether the roads are in built-up areas near schools or on highways. For school zones, it's 30 kilometers per hour, 50 kilometers in built-up areas, 70 kilometers per hour on main roads, 80 kilometers on minor highways, and 110 kilometers on Highway 2000. Drinking and driving do not go together. The presence of alcohol in a driver's system is likely to affect his or her ability to make sensible decisions or even respond quickly and appropriately. So if you drive, avoid drinking altogether. And as it regards overtaking, the rules are also clear. Overtake only if the unbroken white line is on your side of the road, and you should only overtake on the right side. In addition to following those basic rules, before you overtake, ask yourself these questions.
Does it make sense? Is it safe? And is it legal? Because you see, a lot of times, even though the overtake may be legal, it doesn't make any sense. It's not necessary. So overtaking is one of the major causes of accidents. It exposes one to head-on collisions. It exposes one to crashes. So we really need to explore all the areas. Is it safe? Does it make sense? And is it legal?
Drivers of motor vehicles and motorcycles need to be licensed. Driver's licenses are issued only after the applicants are tested and proven competent to handle a vehicle. The process begins with an application.
You take 3 photographs signed by the Justice of the Peace, a learner's license, examination fee receipt, and an application form filled out by yourself and the Justice of the Peace. Take it to the depot, arrange for appointment, and on an appointment date, you are required to do a written test and a yard test. If you are successful with the yard test, you are taken on the road to do a driving test.
People who drive without a valid license are guilty of an offense and risk prosecution by the police. It's also imperative for drivers to ensure their vehicles are roadworthy. Periodic inspections are done to test their suitability for the road.
We check for electrical components that they're all working, like headlights, brake lights, park lights, indicators. Mechanically, your front end must be sound, brakes must be in proper working condition. That's park brake and service brake. Tires are in good working order, not showing any form of defects. And the body condition must be fairly good condition.
The inspection process differs depending on the type of vehicle and its intended purpose. Trucks, for example, have to be measured and also weighed in all dimensions to ensure they operate within the confines of the law. Pedestrians, drivers, and motorcyclists should all follow these general rules in order to minimize chaos while on our roadways. The authorities have been vigilant, and there are penalties for breaches. The police and the Island Traffic Authority do random inspections island-wide to identify those who fail to keep their vehicles roadworthy.
What emerges as areas of defects are defective steering, defective brake, defective exhaust system, defective tires. Those four in particular seem to be very prominent. Motorists have to come to grips with the fact that they have a responsibility to ensure the fitness of their vehicles, to ensure the mechanical soundness of their vehicles that are used to ply the roadways. And this is entrenched in law.
The law also spells out the consequences for those who disobey the rules of the road. Offenders could go to prison, pay huge fines, or lose points of their licenses.
When you use the road, you need to be aware of how your action affects others.
I go around the corner. Only to see a man stopping on the big road. But some people are crossing on a blind corner.
When motorists have to stop on the green light to allow people to cross, it creates problems.
People just can't walk out on the road, so man. From a corner, from behind vehicle, they need to be more careful, man.
We have overhead bridges, pedestrian crossings, and crosswalks. Some of them even have signals to tell you when to cross.
People, walk on the sidewalk. If there is none, walk on the right side. And please, if you can't find a pedestrian crossing, make sure the road clear before you cross.
Obey road signs and markings. They are there for our safety. Stop at a pedestrian crossing to allow pedestrians standing at the curb to cross the road. Never drive off while a pedestrian is still on the pedestrian crossing. When driving in slow-moving traffic, avoid stopping on a pedestrian crossing. Stop to allow the clearance of the crossing before proceeding. At a junction, stop at the stop bar, not beyond it. Bus lanes are for buses only. Their use by a private vehicle constitutes a traffic offense. No vehicle other than a bus should occupy a bus bay. Do not drive beyond the stop bar in anticipation of the light changing to green. This is dangerous and is against the law. Remain at the stop bar if the queue across the junction is not moving. Blocking the junction will impede traffic flow in the other direction when the lights change to green. Obey the law. It saves money. It saves time. It saves lives.
In addition to obeying the rules, here are some other tips to keep in mind. Drivers, don't use your cell phones or other electronic devices while driving. If you have to take a call, use a hands-free device or pull off the road safely. Pedestrians always walk towards oncoming vehicles and stay alert at all times and avoid unsafe conditions.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya. Tough yam and banana, we not left ya.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helsha fish and bami, will run down yam and banana, roast bread fruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
A passport is a document used for identification, primarily for most cross-border travel. The Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency produces 4 types of Jamaican passports: adult ordinary passports, minor ordinary passports, diplomatic passports, and official passports. How can you get one? Let's find out.
Shirley Johnson's office, morning.
Mr. Shirley, me get the invitation to America.
We know that long time, Veronica. Finally, you can walk on foreign soil and stop daydreaming on people them job.
What? You know the passport? Watch out. Passport is easy thing to get. They want like a stress that. Oh, what a niceness.
I don't want fast ram as usual. Lovely people conversation. But that's true. The easiest thing to get is a passport now.
Shirley. How will you get a passport again?
A passport is one of the most important forms of identification a person can possess that also proves citizenship. Getting one is a relatively easy process. There are certain requirements that a person like Veronica should ensure they fulfill before they can be issued the document.
Just fill out an application form and take along with it 2 passport-size photo to PICA.
Where you get the form from?
Application forms are available at the offices of the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA, on their website and police headquarters island-wide.
Evie, listen now. You must make sure, see, that the passport form and one of the photograph is certified by a list of persons on the application form that are authorized to sign the form. Like your Justice of the Peace, your pastor, your daughter, headmistress, you know, those persons listed.
Come on.
And make sure you submit the form and the photo before 6 months. Because knowing you, who love to procrastinate, after that it's no longer valid. And you have to do the process all over again.
All right.
Fees should be paid on the day that the application is submitted, and the applicant should take along supporting documents, such as a birth certificate or marriage certificate where necessary. If you are a first-time applicant like Veronica, you must appear in person either at the head office or to an immigration officer situated in the police divisional headquarters in each parish. Let's say your passport has expired, there are no more pages for visas, or you've changed your name. You are required to complete an application form and submit the expired passport as well as your birth certificate and photograph. Passports are issued on the date stipulated on the receipt. If collecting in person, you should present the receipt. If collecting on behalf of another person, a letter signed by the applicant and a copy of the applicant's ID must accompany the receipt. Overseas applicants can collect their passport at the mission office in their location.
V, when you're saying about your passport, make sure you secure the document, you know, because I need them rampant.
Yeah, man.
So, my friend, you know, ready to go for your passport?
Definitely, Shirley.
All right, chat later because I have something to finish off. All right, so later.
All right, Shirley, thanks.
All right, anytime.
For more information on the services offered by the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, please contact the Customer Service Unit, 25C Constant Spring Road, Kingston 10, or telephone 754-5249, or visit www.pica.gov.jm.
Employers, tired of waiting in long lines at the tax office? Wait no further. Government is making it easier for you to pay taxes. As of January 1, 2015, file your employer's annual returns online. No lines, no hassle. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ will be implementing the mandatory electronic filing of all employers' annual returns. So get with the program and save time and energy. For more information, call 1-888-TAX-HELP. That's 1-888-829-4357 or visit jamaicatax.gov.jm.
In the search for a better life, persons must be on the lookout for people who will try to take advantage by committing what is known as human trafficking. This can involve smuggling, defrauding, and exploiting the unsuspected by force. Telltale signs can help you stop this horrible crime. Take a look.
Michelle, what Shana doing now like how she leaves school?
Nothing. Song for me every day. But a man promise a job of foreign. Them a look about paperwork and everything, even visa and passport.
What's she going up there to do? Who she going to stay with? You're going to get a number for her that you can contact her?
When I ask the man, him says stop her myself.
I don't like the sound of this, Michelle. Might not take them one, take away your picnic. You ever hear about human trafficking?
Trafficking?
Or trafficking in persons, the same thing. Why you watch that video, yeah? See if it's them go and do it, Shana.
Alright.
Trafficking in persons by law is a criminal offense. Those who perpetrate this crime usually do so in unsuspecting ways. It could be a friendly invitation to another part of the island or another country, or even through enticing job offers. Persons who get caught up in this web aren't necessarily naive individuals, but human traffickers are sophisticated criminals who put a lot of thought into disguising their nefarious intents.
Not all persons who promise job, etc. overseas after graduation can deliver or plan to deliver. So what they do is lure them into thinking that there's a better life somewhere else. And persons will respond to it. What they'll do is that they pay the ticket and they'll invite you up. Once you're there, they take your passports and then you're placed in servitude.
It is at this helpless stage that victims are forced into unpaid labor or prostitution. The best way to get out of these situations is not to enter them in the first place. So the authorities are cautioning persons to be more vigilant.
You are not supposed to be able to get a visa without your attending or that your parents, if you're a minor, right? So nobody is supposed to be able to legitimately give you a passport with a valid visa without you having gone through that process.
Before you even reach that stage, you should try to get answers to some very important questions once an offer has been made to you. Ask, where am I going? Where will I be staying? Who will be responsible for me? And what do I tell my family?
If you cannot give that information out of this encounter that you're offered, if you cannot give that information that can be checked, then you ought not to take it on.
I don't know where I am. They've taken all that I had.
Doreen, I'm glad you showed me this video. It made me want to ask the man more questions because I can't let him take Sean. I don't know where she gone.
I'm glad you understand the signs of trafficking in persons. But keep watching more information in the program.
Statistics across the world have revealed that women and children are more vulnerable to human trafficking. However,
we see young, bright males, young, bright females, university graduates. We have people from difficult circumstances, people in the main who have been tricked, so it varies.
I also think any person who doesn't have sufficient information so that they can assess an offer that is being made to them is vulnerable as well.
To protect all its citizens, the government has intensified its public awareness campaign. Persons are being given information to guard themselves and others against this crime.
We're going to be giving out some business card size facts on trafficking to the workers in the sector who would be exposed. Customs, immigration, the police. So at a moment you get into your pocket and you have the facts, you know, is this what I'm seeing?
We can identify persons being trafficked by certain behaviors being displayed. A person behaving unusually timid is one of the classic signs of someone being trafficked.
Persons who are leaning onto this adult, you know, not like a parent-child kind of arrangement, but almost like, it's almost like you're kidnapped, but you are afraid to let anybody know that this is your situation. And we have to look out for those people who are moving around with no confidence.
I like what the government send out information to the people. It's stuck in my head. From now on, I'm not taking anything for granted. Thanks for showing me the video.
No problem, man. We have to share information. This is one way of ending the cycle.
This information-based strategy by the government is a cooperative approach with citizens that seeks to preserve and enhance a secure and protective environment for all. Now that we have the information, let us use it to our advantage. Our main source of protection against the trafficking in persons is to be aware of the offense.
The Ebola virus is transmitted through direct contact with an infected person's blood or other bodily fluids like saliva, urine, stool, and semen. Symptoms of Ebola include sudden fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. This may be followed by vomiting, diarrhea, and rash, and in some cases both internal and external bleeding, leading to death. Protect yourself. Avoid travel to Ebola-affected countries. Avoid contact with infected persons. Don't touch the body of someone who has died from Ebola. Wash hands frequently with soap and water and use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. To know more, call 1-888-663-5683.
Are you pleased with what you see?
It could be that no matter what you say, you follow all of the parenting rules and all of the parenting tips, and your children will go out there and still do something stupid. The most that you can do is teach them responsibility. Responsibility to take a step, stop, think for a minute. Foresight to see what can happen in the future if they do something. Don't be afraid to be a parent. They're children, and as parents, we have to set up the necessary disciplinary structure so that they can grow and become positive citizens and good citizens of Jamaica. Because the bottom line is better parenting, better children, and ultimately what? A better nation. That's where we want to go.
Don't forget, don't you
A recap of the major news stories of the week next.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Government has reduced its expenditure for the 2014-2015 fiscal year by $739.6 million. The original budget showed that government planned to spend $540.1 billion, but that figure was reduced in the supplementary estimates that was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. The supplementary estimates are to be discussed by the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee and debated in the House of Representatives next month. Cabinet this week appointed 4 additional persons to strengthen the board of the National Housing Trust, the NHT. They are retired actuary Daisy Coke, who will serve as deputy chair, chairman of the Police Federation Sergeant Raymond Wilson, past president of the Jamaica Teachers Association Clayton Hall, and Pastor Michael Harvey, a vice president of the Northern Caribbean University. Their appointments bring the total composition of the NHT board to 12. A release from the Office of the Prime Minister indicated that the 4 new appointees, along with the existing directors, would continue to oversee the NHT's operations until April 2 next year, when the board's tenure expires. Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller opened the debate on 3 CCJ bills in the lower house of Parliament Tuesday and called for bipartisan consensus as Jamaica takes another step towards establishing the Caribbean Court of Justice as a final appellate court.
The debate on these bills is also about Jamaica's identity, the exercise of its sovereignty, the protection of the legal rights of its citizens, and the location of that sovereignty.
She added that given the inhibiting cost of travelling to the UK-based Privy Council, if the CCJ becomes Jamaica's final court of appeal, it would ensure access to justice for all Jamaicans. It was announced this week that 50 projects have been approved since government's national cleanup campaign began in October to reduce the spread of the chikungunya virus across the island. 39 projects from members of parliament and 11 from the parish councils have been given the go-ahead by the approvals subcommittee overseeing the program.
Jamaicans are heeding the call to take personal responsibility for removing containers and clearing areas in which water settles and where mosquitoes can lay eggs and multiply.
The Police High Command is reporting a 17% decline in major crimes.
So whether it is murder, shootings, robbery, or rape, aggravated assaults, and so on, every single category we have double-digit reduction.
Crime statistics show that when compared to this time last year, murders have seen a 16% decline. There has also been a 13% reduction in shootings, 18% fall in aggravated assault, and a 24% dip in rape cases. In addition to the decreases in major crimes, the police commissioner says there has also been a dip in the number of persons being detained by the police, as well as the number of curfews imposed in communities.
It means that we are doing something well. In fact, as someone said, we are doing smarter policing.
Government has signed 3 air services agreements with the Czech Republic, Turkey and New Zealand, allowing for scheduled and possibly non-scheduled air services between Jamaica and these countries. The agreements were signed on November 19 in Bali, Indonesia, during the International Civil Aviation Organization's Air Navigation Conference. Jamaica's delegation to the conference also signed a memorandum of understanding with Qatar, which will now make it possible for Jamaica to sign a previously initialed air services agreement with that country. And finally, the Students' Loan Bureau has received $250 million to boost its lending capacity. The money was presented in the form of a grant from the Ministry of Finance through the Heart Trust NTA.
This grant is to be used only to fund areas consistent with technical vocational education and training, as well as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects.
It is particularly significant because in the economy of the 21st century, and having regard to the particular challenges and opportunities of Jamaica, competencies, indeed more than competencies, expertise in STEM subjects and in technical and vocational arenas are most crucial.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And that's it for today's magazine program. Remember to make safety your priority and keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISnews. Also, click on our website jis.gov.jm for the very latest government information. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, inviting you to join us again tomorrow for more information you can use. Until then, do take care and thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.